What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, right? Thursday night. Hello, Antonio. Uh
Hello.
we seem to be beefing, I feel. In the group chat and things. Maybe we'll play a game at the end of the night to burn some things. Leave text messages alone, but maybe not. We'll see. It's good to see you regardless. When you want to commit to being a friend, you're a friend.
Okay, so is this the conversation on Zeus or is this the lean? What is this? What?
How's it
I
going,
mean, I'm
Tez?
just like,
Hello.
wow. I
Right off
walk
the
in and
bat.
just get attacked.
I had some
Antonio was
things. Walk around the club. How you doing, Antonio? It's been a minute since we sat on a panel together.
It has been. You've been MIA all season, but I'm glad to see you tonight. How about that?
I've been on a few. Wow. Roll the tapes, roll the footages. I've
Baby.
been on a
It,
few.
it must have been episode 1 and 2 or something.
I think that probably was. Hey, Tez, how are you?
How are you? I'm
I'm
great.
here. I'm great. I'm blessed. It's good to see you. The beard's getting long. It's
I
getting
so
very
you know,
long.
I have a new technique that I do with it now, so I'm gonna show people how long it really is because
Oh,
people
thought you go
think it's
straighten
short
it.
and it's
That sounded
actually
kind
longer.
of freaky.
I have a new technique. I had high body
Okay.
beard, and now I have regular
Oh,
body
girl.
count.
I was I was looking at some pictures, well, because last year we're approaching like whatever we took the cabin trip, is
Mhm.
literally coming up in like what, a week. It's already
Yeah.
been a year since we were in cabin trip, and like just
Yeah.
everybody, like the beard is longer, everybody's looking good, time has flown, and then like looking back from pictures when you and I just like started recapping Salt Lake, Tez,
Oh yeah.
like my God, that was season one, and we're
It was
on
5 years ago.
season five, right? This was season
It was
five
five
we're
years
on.
ago. It was
We
yeah.
are the end of season five. This is insane. So it's good to see you guys. To all of our people who have been here with us for the last five seasons of this franchise. Classy Lady, we've got Alicia, we got Oliver Girl, Amanda Kay. Thank you guys. Thank you for riding with us. I know it's no secret. After the past couple of months, we all needed a break, and we took a break. And when Salt Lake City came back, we were a little unsure about whether we would tackle this because everybody's schedule was just all over the place. But I know that you guys were really outspoken about wanting us to do that. And so it's, again, we say this all the time on this channel. It's you guys that keep us going, regardless of whether we're tired, schedules, whatever. Every time we come on this panel, you guys make it fun. So thank you guys for tuning in for another 18 episodes of this craziness. And I have to say, Bravo has finally gotten a formula down because if you remember season one, two, and three, they were like 25 episode seasons. And by episode 18, we had it. We were done. And so I'm glad Bravo decided to trim this down a little
15,
bit.
16 episodes max. Honestly, they could really cut it around 13. They want to,
Yes.
that
Because
would be fine with me.
I
But
could not do another five episodes of Britney. I just can't. I wouldn't have been able to.
I'm glad you said it, Jamie.
Listen. All right, so let's jump right in. Speaking of Britney, they come back from a commercial break, and Andy's just like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and start. And Britney's like, I don't get a grand entrance. Am I just gonna like pop up on camera and y'all not gonna let me walk in? Uh, and everyone's like, girl, sit down. My God, we've been here for 8 hours already. We want to go. Like, sit down, girl. Angie, excuse me, Andy takes a jab at Meredith about her throwing her fit at the end of last episode. Meredith looks like she probably popped a little downer to get her mood back under control because she's like, oh, thank you so much. Brittany is basking in her little 5 minute intro. We see like her title card and all that. Andy does say that she wore the same dress as Angie Kane. We see a picture of Brittany wearing it. And I thought she didn't look bad, but I think Angie really like pulled the look together in the comments. If you want to let us know who do you think wore it better, I think Brittany actually looked great in her second dress, about as good as high body count hair can look. So good for her.
I think she made
And,
that Oscar de la Renta gown. She made it look cheap.
well,
I think
well,
Britney probably came off of like one of those sites. Like she probably came to Atlanta and went to the little discount mall over there and
Dee Dee's discounts.
or wherever, and that's what she found that.
that's a whole different story.
That's a whole. I will say I am very proud of Brittany for taking everybody's advice and getting a hot VO5 oil treatment. Like her hair was slick. Like it looked nice. So kudos, Brittany. And Angie never misses a chance to tag her. Says this is the best her hair has ever looked. I was like,
Yeah,
Angie, this the girl just sat down. Um,
just sat down.
but for some reason, Andy feels the need to talk to her and talk to her about that Osmond offspring that she has been dating on, off, maybe sleeping with, not sleeping with. They're on to get off again because he was texting other women, Mary, and now we find out Bronwyn as well. The women are really look kind of bored. We're bored. I don't. This storyline was one of those storylines that it's just like I don't really care too much about. Um, Bronwyn says that Jared has talked horrifically about Britney on social media, in the press, and not just Britney, but all of the cast members. Heather tries to stick up for him, I think, by saying, like, well, uh, didn't you say he had a micro penis? And so we get a flashback of some unaired, and Bronwyn is like, somebody over there was just saying XYZ or whatever. And so Bronwyn reads a text message that Jared sent her, where Jared is like, Bronwyn's getting dragged left and right via text. Like, I feel really bad for her. First, Angie, and then that little girl, Jared, decided to get his licks in too. Said she was low vibrational. Uh, he's big.
Yeah.
He's bigger than any man she's ever been with. I was like, that's gross.
Twice as
Uh,
big.
Twice as big. Thank you. And then says, I could pick apart your body if I wanted to, but I'll keep that between me and you. And I'm like,
What that mean?
that's
Yeah,
creepy. What
I
does
was
that mean?
like,
I don't like that. Don't like that. The women are really like horrified. Mary's face the whole time was like trying to read the text message. Brittany says she is embarrassed by what Osmond 2.0 said, but then immediately defends him over every single horrible thing that he's ever said. So it's very Brittany. Talks out her ass and regurgitates the shit out her mouth. So, like, I don't know where she stands with that man. And frankly, I don't think the other ladies really care too much. Um, the ladies do start talking about her relationship with the kids, and right on cue she starts like fake crying. She asks for tissues. It's this weird back and forth of saying like they're not estranged, they were estranged. um One of her daughters is in New York with her. Heather like tries to like hop in and is like, yeah, by the way, I'm scared to date too. Like she chooses men, but like I'm scared I would do that and alienate my kids or something. It sounds like her teeth are about to fall out. um but like, you notice that too, like it's real crazy. Like I would pick a man over my kids
maybe
too.
that little
Like,
sinus infection
my
was
God,
whooping Heather's ass because
uh,
that voice was
it was
croaked.
gone.
It was
But
gone.
ultimately, she's like, it came back to Brittany taking priority over her daughters, which was one of the reason why her daughters, I guess, kind of fell out with her. So before Bronwyn jumps in and starts beating Brittany's ass again, Tonio, what do you think of this little intro to Brittany's little 5 minutes on this package?
As soon as Brittany said, "Oh, I don't get like a entrance," I was immediately annoyed. I, I'm just like, girl, you got to understand, you like a friend. You're not even a friend that's been there before or been a housewife before. Like this, you are a first season friend. You're not getting all that. Like what? What do you think this is? It was crazy. What Jared said to Bronwyn though, it did. I did laugh because he really read her like one of the girls, and the whole low vibrational thing. I was like, sir, how you know
What
Coach
part of
Stormy?
what
He
part of
knows Coach
what part of
Stormy.
Twitter have you been on, Jared? Now I understand why he was messaging Mary. Like, oh, I get it. I
Yeah,
understand.
you want a
I get it.
sister.
He want a sister.
And you know what was even crazier was them at the party and Bronwyn getting the tea about his anatomy or whatever, and the man kind of spilling it too. Bron like, yeah, so I'm at the spa, and it's
I was like, oh my God.
Jesus. And
Please stop
Bronwyn
it.
asked telling the man, this random man, oh well, Brittany lying when she say that he be doing her good or whatever. I was
And that
like,
man said, no, it's a lie. It was all a lie.
it was all a lie. Look right here.
Right
It's
here.
crazy. That was crazy. But listen, as much as Brittany gets on my nerves, I think for some parts of the season, she had like some, kiki moments to like laugh at her, but she to me she's just not trustworthy. She clearly has no type of self-respect because she continues to go back with this man, which they stated, hey, she's currently at film and she's back with Jared now, whatever. He's
Lord.
disrespected her, along with the other women on the cast, on social media, saying he's the only reason why she has a job and so on and so forth. I just don't get it. I don't want Britney back at all.
Ooh. Tez, how do you feel?
I think the message from the text message from him to Bronwin was spot on in terms of how we've seen him on the show. He does give off like he has a very sassy ego, that because I mean his name is who he is. I think Britney, it makes so much sense as to why she's with him, because people that are kind of weak in that way, they do gravitate to people like that. Yeah. So it made a lot of sense to why she felt like she was just, because she literally said in this episode that she fell in love with him like the first day. And I'm like, okay, this okay. Now it all makes sense to me, right? Yeah. Regarding Bronwin and now is this where she blames her for the kids not talking to her?
We're just about to get it. Yeah.
Okay, well, to speak about what you talked about thus far, I mean, Britney, I don't mind Britney. I just hope that she knows what she's putting out there. I see a comment of Sean saying that Mary, Bronwyn, and Angie bully her. I don't think that's really true. I think they are just, you have to put yourself in a situation to have to deal with somebody that is like, not only a trauma dump, but just constantly contradicting everything they're saying. They drinking wine, they having tequila, but you give them wine, they get upset. Like things like that. It just has to be annoying to be around. We already know that Mary, this is Mary before. Mary does not really tolerate a lot of anything, at least like how she used to be. I think we have a new Mary, but I think she's also still the same person.
Yes.
Bronwyn, it seems like there is something there. Maybe like we're going to talk about between her friends and her that maybe I didn't even know about, but we're going to talk about that. And then Angie, I think Angie was fine with her until she tried to, come with the whole wine thing and making it, because think about it, she made an issue with her. Yep. Angie did not have an issue with Britney. She never did. But that's where it came from. So I'll say my next thoughts for the rest of the next.
And that bully word is overused, in my opinion.
We can't. Yeah, sometimes people just put themselves in these situations, like, and a lot of things that's happening, she brought upon herself. Like, and it didn't help that she was recording lady. So it's like you constantly doing things. You're not fixing or correcting things that got you where you are. You're just making it worse. So is it really bullying, or is it just we don't want to fool with you because you doesn't know what to say?
Yeah. Exactly. Or these are consequences of your actions.
These are consequences of your actions. Like we just don't like you at this point. Like, no.
It her relationship with Jared gives me Heather's relationship with Jen Shah. Like Jen Shah beat Heather up year after year, and Heather was like, "Where are we going, sweetie? You ready for dinner? What you want for dinner?" Like that's that whole dynamic. But just as Cortez says, we now get into Bronwyn admitting she was like, you know what? Britney and I did get off on the wrong foot, and I judged Britney a bit based on the comments that she said about prioritizing men over her children. And that Bronwyn's been very, very open about that. We know Bronwyn is one that prioritized her daughter over any other relationship in her life. She was very protective of her daughter. So I can see where having Britney come in, it was like, girl, for them kids. I'm with this man.
Kids. I'm about to get rid of my baby.
And then weirdly, Britney then spins that, like Cortez said, and says that Bronwyn is the reason why, like, her kids ain't speaking with her, saying that Bronwyn uses flying monkeys. And I don't understand where that reference came from. I was like, someone just watched Wicked, but all right, girl. And apparently Bronwyn's like, I don't talk to your daughters about you. And Britney insinuates, she's talked to other people, telling them that, like, what does she say? My daughters are jealous of me, and I haven't really been on Broadway. I was like, that's it? That's what was said. And it's very light shade. And Bronwyn is saying, I don't talk to your daughters about you. I never said that to your daughter. She goes, we've got mutual friends who told me you were coming on the show. They told me to watch out for you because you're a nut job, essentially. And even Andy is like, hey, girl, how do we get from point A to point Z? Like, how did we get here? Please explain to me. Um, and he's like, your casting tape. Well, no, first he says, are you insinuating that Bronwyn is the reason why your daughters fell out with you? And she was like, well, yeah, before it was just off and on. And Andy was like, your casting tape shows you blatantly say you and your kids are estranged. And it's been that way for a while. She was like, no, it was touch and go. It's Bronwyn is the reason we fight. And then Andy pulls up the tape, and this lady's wearing an old dusty brown wig, and it's like, my daughters hate me.
And
And I'm like,
she literally said,
she
you know,
literally said,
we
we're
don't. I haven't
estranged.
talked
There's
to her
drama.
again quite sometimes.
Yeah. And Brittany's like, well, that was under the guise of touching and going. And then like Bronwyn came and it was more touch and less go. And Andy's like, girl, your kids think you're trash, and that's completely your fault. It has nothing to do with Bronwyn, girl. Um, do you have anything to add to this? Because this is the reason why I agree with both of you. I like Brittany in small doses, but when Brittany starts doing what she did in this package, I'm just like, girl, you didn't read your script. Like you're going off book. Like this is a train wreck to watch, and it's not enjoyable. You were really, really annoying. Tess, did you have anything you wanted to add to this little part?
Yeah, I didn't understand. I was hoping that she would say no when she was asked, are you blaming it on Bronwyn? Because I'm like, okay, but then it also opened my eyes to know that we went through a whole season without knowing that there was some kind of connection between the two. So I'm like, okay, why and how would Bronwyn be talking to your kids? Or it is almost like she was saying, you know my kids, you the godmother, you told my kids it's like
Right.
whatever the
You
reason
turned my
is,
kids against me.
yeah, it's just kind of weird. I didn't get why that was happening. But it did sound like Brittany was saying that Bronwyn, I guess had other individuals do the work. Maybe, try to get the kids. I don't even know. I don't even know how old Olivia is. I know that Olivia passed her
She's
math.
19, I think.
She's 19. She a grown an adult.
So when she said she passed her math exam and she was sending her a video, she was 19 years old, 18 years
She's
old.
probably in
I think
college.
she's
I'm thinking
19
maybe in
now. I
university.
think when they flash.
Girl, I don't know. Listen, I don't personally. I'm gonna say this. I don't see any type of form of bullying. I just see people that are just irritated with someone that is
Yeah.
just full of shit. Honestly, she is weak, but she also is full of shit. She's weak and she's like very just. She don't make any sense. Like this whole thing didn't make sense to anybody. You can't. She like the tape said one thing, and she, instead of owning up the fact that her kids don't have the best relationship, she's blaming 3 months of casting on that being the reason why the kids didn't want to talk to. I'm like, what? It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I think this is another example of just how, she's just all over the place. The video, the recording, whatever she was doing, like she's just not consistent. She drink wine, she don't drink wine. She has sex, she don't have sex. It's like, who are you, Brittany? We know who you are, but who are you trying to portray and make that align with who you really are? Because you're giving like Gemini at this point. No shade to Gemini. So, yeah.
All the shade to Gemini's. Tonio, anything to add?
To me, in this scene, to me, Brittany was given like someone had told her, "Hey, so yeah, when you get to the reunion, you need to turn it. You only there for a little while, so you need to go in and you need to like make your spot be known, so they'll bring you back." That's kind of what it gives, because there's no way that, and it made me mad that nobody really stuck up or said anything other than Whitney when she was like, "That's not fair." But it's like, y'all are okay with what this lady saying? Like, y'all not gonna be like, "Hey, Brittany, that's some BS." Other than Andy, it's like everybody else was just sitting there like they didn't. And I in my mind, I'm thinking, does she think that she is like turning it, or does she really believe that? Does she think it's like, yeah, I'm killing it?
She literally said that Brahma's gonna have to pay for that. I'm like,
yeah, like what? Pay for what?
And I was just like, okay,
what are we paying for?
This chick crazy. And I was thinking what Nene said that time. Where the hell this bitch live at? That's what I was
yeah. Not even that child.
As we saw in this episode, we get plenty of more word salad from Britney. For this little package, before we get into another fight with Britney, we sit through Meredith's fake bar mitzvah again. And after 3 months after watching the episode, her singing voice ain't got any better.
Ooh, she's
But
out of
this
bed.
was the starting point to Angie versus Britney. And frankly, it still gives me life. Like, one thing about Angie, when she's in a beef with you, she's going to turn it. Angie's going to turn it, and she's going to keep this going. And she's going to have a slick ass mouth. And I love her for it. So Brittany's mad, as we've talked about. Brittany was mad at Angie for giving her a bottle of wine. Angie says that Brittany's a Mormon pass around. Brittany says that Angie is jealous of her being a hoe. Bronwyn then tells Angie that Brittany said that Angie is jealous of her being a hoe. Angie says Brittany's dry, brittle, wispy hair has a high body count. And I can only imagine, like, I believe that because every time we see Brittany on camera, her hair looks like it's been through it. She looks like everything she has been through. And so, like, if I was getting passed around by three guys, like, I would not have the best hair. So, like, I want to give a little empathy, but,
Especially this
like,
movie.
Put you
Angie
on a
didn't
do
lie.
rag, Jamie.
You ain't even got no hair, Tez.
Oh, well,
Jamie, put you on
I
a do
do.
rag.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I have
Not a
plenty of
do-rag.
hair. Thank you.
Not a little silk
Yeah,
mat.
this is gonna be finished tomorrow. You're gonna see it.
Um, so then, like, it's this weird thing, and we get to the point where Meredith tells Angie to leave because he doesn't like that she's slut shaming Brittany, and I'm like, I know you think you're defending Brittany, but you basically just called her a slut, and is mad at Angie for calling her a slut. So, like, that's not the best defense, Meredith. um, we get a little package of like a after show comment where Heather is basically like taking Bronwyn's side, um, saying like I can understand where people are confused. Where Heather is like, or excuse me, she was taking Angie's side where she doesn't understand why Brittany's mad about the wine, but like everybody kind of knows that Brittany's a Mormon party girl who drinks and has sex, and you can't live a double life. Um, and Brittany's trying to defend it, but there's like she was like, I'm not living a double life. It's just like, oh my God, it's so difficult to whatever. And everybody's like, girl, we've been through it. Like, calm down. You're on camera. I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. People are gonna find out you drink and have sex. Like, what is going on? This little part, Tonio, what are your thoughts on this?
I guess so are there like new age Mormons, or I guess kind of what Brittany, like she's more of, I guess, the Lisa Barlow type of Mormon
Yeah,
where he
Mormon
does.
2.0.
But then I'm like, okay, well, if that's what the type of Mormon, I guess, that you're gonna be, then you need to stand in that. Like, don't get
Yeah,
mad at the girl for bringing you a bottle of wine, or don't get mad at her for repeating that you sleeping with multiple people and that you got all these men from the Tinder app, or whatever the case may be. It was odd. Brittany is um just a victim. I don't like that victim mentality, and it's like clearly looking at your neck and your hands, you are way too old
yeah,
to act the way that you do. Is very like juvenile mindset. It's like you may not be living like a Mormon, but you got the mentality of a young Mormon, because you as dumb as a box of rocks. I
Jesus,
just don't
Tonio.
understand, what it is that she was trying to, accomplish with that. Like, it was no way that they weren't gonna find out what you were doing. It's odd.
It's so odd.
Britney's
Tez.
on my nerve. Yeah.
I don't really have anything to add here. I mean, I like it's the same things on the show. Like you could have thought that one, you're filming a show, so you
Yeah.
can never film a show ever and be upset about something spilling something because maybe they spilled it on camera, but you have to know it's coming to us.
Yeah,
Production is going to always
yeah,
show what you don't want unless you basically go and beg and plead. I guess what Bronwyn did to not get that stuff. So more than likely they're going to show whatever they film. So
yeah.
I don't take stuff like this serious. Like I don't know what life she's living. There seems to be a common thing in the Mormon community. Like you have these traditional Mormons living a non-traditional Mormon life. Like they're starting to do things unconventionally, I guess you would call it. I don't know. I ain't
Yeah.
Mormon child, Christian, but
We'll talk
I
about that. We'll talk
So
about
it's just
that later.
so with her, I just can't really take her serious because you first of all, you're friends with Heather. Heather has 3 books now, and she's talking about these things. Then you got Lisa over here eating Taco Bell and whatever else she do, So
With
it's not
a
like
line of tequila.
she's coming into a group of women that are so confined to a true traditional Mormon. Like they are all, I mean, good God, let's not even go down, take the breakdown of where they have been. I mean, Whitney, hello. So it's like just living your truth. I mean, you have to know you come. I don't know. I think like somebody said it was all for the camera, maybe to give interest. I guess it worked. Not really, but that's what I would think. Because I think she's slow, but I don't think she's that damn slow. She can't.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't think they were slut shaming her, but if you're telling me in secret that you've got 3 boyfriends that you're seeing, but then you're preaching at me at the lunch before that how devout Mormon that you are, and we shouldn't talk about you getting a glass of wine, I'm going to look at that and be like, but you just told me you was like, what's going on here? So I think that's the thing. And it's not so much bullying. It's like, girl, you're getting on our nerves because like, move. We don't want to deal with you. We don't want to deal with you. Move.
It's like you get a passport, you're like, get out of here.
Very bad.
Gone, man. It's gone.
So Andy asked Meredith if she feels bad for kicking Angie out after seeing that Angie never really called Britney a slut, and she was just repeating what slutty Britney said, thinking that she was called a slut. And Meredith is like, not really. It's like I heard that she called her a slut, so I was like, you slut. Get out my house. And it was like the most weirdest, like, non-apology. And Andy's like, oh, okay. She's like, And Mary's like, but you were wrong. Like, you saw on the TV, like, that's not what happened. Bronwin taps right back into Walla Britney again. And says, you say a lot of stuff and then forget that you say it. And that is where our problem is. We can't sit here and listen to you spouting stories and then act like when we confront you about it, that never happened, or try to spin it in a way that's not what you said. Britney starts crying her Oscar-winning tears, saying it was so brave of her to tell the girls that, oh my gosh, she has sex with the Osmond. And nobody was shocked. And she was just like, you don't know what it's like growing up Mormon. Like, I can't tell everybody that Jared is knocking the collection plate Sonic coins out of me. Like, I got to be a certain way. And Maria's like, girl, nobody was asking you about that. Like, you didn't even have to say that. Nobody was really talking to you about it. And it's that thing. You can tell the look on the ladies' faces. They're like, what is this? Like, what are you trying to do? She is that character that when you come on camera, she understands that she only has a certain amount of time, and she is sucking all of the oxygen out of it. And it just so happens the reactions the ladies gave her made for good TV. I'm a viewer, and I don't know how much longer I can take of that. So I can't imagine being on that cast with somebody like that. That's just like, I'm going to say whatever and then completely deny it later. So to wrap up Brittany's little part, do either of you have anything you want to add to this?
Somebody said in the chat, Meredith will not apologize. I hate that. You know, I used to really enjoy me some Meredith. These days, I will say she's kind of exhausting just because she just makes herself a victim of everything. And in this moment, you know, she did have the opportunity to, you know, go ahead and apologize to the girl. Because it did show that Britney was the one that even used the word slut first. And it was she never, I mean, Angie never slut shamed her. She just talked about her appearance, her hair, you know, everything like that. So realistically, like, she kicked Angie out based off of her own. She can use Britney all she want, right? But we know why she kicked her out. She felt triggered because previously in the previous season, Angie made the stuff about, she felt like Angie had a habit of doing things like that. And so that's why she kicked her out, because she heard one person, she saw this girl crying. And it's so crazy. Here's the thing. What's even more crazy?
Trying to cry.
What's even more crazy about this is that she, in this moment, defended somebody who she learned herself 2-3 episodes later is like a diabolical liar. And she, in this exact moment, is calling him a diabolical liar, but cannot apologize for something to someone that this person she now is crazy. Like,
she's like, I know you're a liar and I hate you, but I hate her a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was.
It's so weird that she could not do that. But I'm like, you know what, Meredith girl,
Go
I
on, girl. Do your big one. So now we're in Puerto Vallarta, and we get packages of everybody and their little thing. We've got Bronwyn talking about the infidelity, Bronwyn's dog bite, Britney Spone, Heather Shady Game, all that good stuff. Needless to say, this was one of the better. Salt Lake City has had pretty consistent finale cast trips where like it's just 3 episodes of insanity. Um, we start off with Bronwyn's the dog attack, and they show the pictures again, and I don't remember it being that bad, but that dog tore her up.
no, I
Like
remember it tore her up.
the leg, I didn't even realize that it was also like on her arm as well.
You
Like that
realize you
dog.
put it in the chat. You said that dog beat her ass.
I just thought it was I looked at it. I was like, "How are you alive, lady?" And at the beach,
Baby, that dog let her leg go and grabbed her arm.
let her go, Monique, let her go.
Okay, that dog had on like this.
Had it by the heart, the little heart costume. It was wailing. So Bronwyn says that she has a lot of foster dogs. She knows how to deal with dogs, and apparently this was a foster that I guess that the guy that was fostering it wasn't aware had anger issues, but decided to leave that dog at a dog park anyway and go take a call in his car. Okay, I don't think that guy liked that dog.
Yeah,
but
Or Bronwyn.
or it was one of the flying monkeys that that Brittany's kids sent. So we find out that like she knows I know what I'm supposed to do in a dog attack. You're supposed to like stay calm and stuff, but she just like freaked out and did everything wrong. And so then Andy says, "What are you supposed to do in a dog attack?" And she's like, "Well, you're supposed to stay calm." And like some people say, like you stick a finger in the dog butthole, they'll release, or you choke them out. And Mary's like, "The butthole doesn't work." No. I was like,
who's doing that?
"You gotta choke them." I said,
Who's
"Mary,
doing that?
Mary."
You know what I'm saying? Like, who's thinking about that when
But
you get?
I've heard that because the dog is like, I like let's go enough for you to like escape. But Mary's like, "You gotta cheat now." Like, Jesus, Mary.
Out, but I was like, dang, Mary. Okay.
I'm telling you, she proves every day why she really is a black woman. Okay,
Listen, it was just the way that she shook her head. She said, "No, the butthole doesn't work."
Man, that was hilarious to me when she
How do you know this, Mary? Try to get Robert Sr. off of her, like, "No, sir, Grandpa, no." So, do you have any thoughts on buttholes or choking? Sign me up.
not in relation to a dog bite, no. But anything else, we can talk about it.
In the chat, could you let us know? Would you prefer the finger than the butthole or getting choked out? You let us know. Is it a coincidence?
I ask you.
I ask you. So we get Angie and Meredith's fight like gets brought up again, and Angie said, Meredith should have been able to have a conversation with me. Lisa, you did not have to jump in. You did not have to defend Meredith. Like, she's a whole attorney. I'm just a beauty school student. And I was like, "All right, Angie." And even Meredith was like, like, she got me.
Why you gotta make it when he had a damn stroke?
Y'all, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but with every passing minute of this reunion, Meredith was slipping more and more out of consciousness. Like, she started with her sweater on, she started yelling, it was hanging off her shoulder. She was sitting back like this. Like,
by the time she got done, the damn sweater was around her wrist.
And she was going through it. So, Bronwyn agrees that Lisa will take things that kind of happen to her, play the victim, all this good stuff. And the thing that frustrated me about this is there was no resolution between Angie and Meredith because Lisa like jumped in and made it like, "Well, now you're attacking me about offending my friend." And then everybody like hates Lisa, so they jump on it. Lisa says, "No, I stuck up for your marriage, and I really, really defended you. I'm such a good person." And Lisa says that Bronwyn is the one that never actually stuck up for her publicly. And then production is like, "Actually," and we see like 2 or 3 scenes of Bronwyn's like, "No, I've never experienced that with Lisa. No, I don't feel comfortable having this conversation about Lisa. No, that's not the Lisa that I know." And then to close out this little Puerto Vallarta fight number 1, Andy is asking Brittany why she was telling everybody that Meredith was screaming, crying, throwing up by herself in her room. And Brittany said, "Well, I did talk to her first, and Meredith said I told her to lie and not to say anything about it. And she said she went ahead and told everybody anyway that I was screaming, crying, throwing up. And then Meredith turns to Brittany and, like the foster dog that beat up Bronwin, is like, "You're a liar. You're disgusting." And just starts screaming. And Brittany's like, "Stop it. Don't yell at me. Let me speak." But Meredith won't let her go. Like, Meredith is fighting her. It's like, "I think you are vile. I think you're disgusting." She's slur screaming. Like, it's great. Like, this was when Meredith's like sweater was hanging half off her shoulder while she's screaming at this lady. It's just like she told everybody I had an eating disorder. And this took me out because Brittany then says, "I would never say that. I had an eating disorder." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Okay, this is where we're going to go." She's like, "It was a long time ago. I'm over it now." And Andy is just, "All right, well, we're moving on." Like, we're not getting into this conversation. Cortez, what do you think of this last little package before we get in like the meat and potatoes at the end of the Puerto Vallarta trip?
I was glad that Brittany was done actually with this whole, because it was just like Meredith does not let that go. She does not let things go, which is crazy because later on she does tell somebody that they can't hold on to grudges, and I'm like,
Surely,
hello.
surely not Big Mare.
It's crazy to me that Brittany said that, she will never recover from the way that she was scolded by Meredith. And I'm just like, she just did it again, and you seem to be okay. So listen, I'm not saying it's okay, but I personally, the whole eating disorder thing, we didn't really see where that came from. It just was said that it was insinuated. I mean, she never said it, but they said, like, it's just like, I don't know what Meredith got that from, and I don't want to side with Brittany, but we do know that Meredith, she does take things to the extreme. When they talked about her hearing aid, they said that she said that they were saying she was handicapped or disability.
You
and
talked
I'm just
about
like,
my disability, like
I wanna be there for Meredith. I'm like, Meredith, you're a little extra. Like, you're very extra. And when she becomes a victim, she is a victim. Like, she
absolutely
is a victim. So it's like, I don't know if Brittany said she had an eating disorder, and I feel like if Brittany said that she heard some sounds that sounded like throwing up, then she heard it. Shit. I mean, I'm just saying that what she heard. She can't tell that girl what she didn't hear. I mean, was it accurate or truth? Probably not. But if she heard some girl throw up, that's what she heard. I'm just saying. That's all I got.
Audio.
What Cortez said.
That's it.
That's
what
it.
Cortez said.
That's what she heard.
So now we're on to another Brit. Like, he's had a lot of scandals for being on screen a total of maybe 1 hour and 13 minutes the entire season. This lady absolutely made the most of her time. Andy is asking about all the excuses she gave for filming the ladies in the vehicle. She was recording the scenery. She was saying hi to her daughter. She was sending behind the scenes video to reality Von Tees. Brittany says, "Well, all of those things can be true. I was doing all of them." And Andy asked the ladies if any of them believe her lies. And Brittany was like, "Wait, I'm not lying." And Andy's like, "Yeah, you are." So, like, what is the truth, ladies? But she also notes, he says, "You ladies probably feel away after everything you've been through." I was like, "Oh, girl, we're not opening this back up." And of course, Heather's the first one. It was a betrayal of trust. It's after everything. Like, I never imagined with her teeth falling out of face. And Brittany was just like, "By the way y'all reacted to me was abusive, and I'm never going to emotionally recover from that."
Oh, this part, yeah.
But she said that about Meredith's response during the season. I was like, this is her line. Like, she's waiting for it to pop off.
And I was
And
like,
Mary says, "We'll get over it. It happened. It's done. Hopefully you are too." And I said,
I was like,
yeah, Mary.
okay, you know what? Listen. Mary said, "Listen, I'm the heavyweight champ. You gotta get after it."
Big Mary.
Mary said
little
she
Mary.
couldn't take no more at that moment. Like, Mary said she just had to let it be known. She couldn't take no more.
She says, "Girl, it happened. Get over it." Like, I don't know what to tell you. Andy then brings up that Meredith connected with Jen Shah. Meredith, through her alleged Pilly Hayes, says she called me. Obviously, I can't call her. I was like, oh, that's slick shade. That's slick
So
shade.
we know.
And I'm like, I hope fine.
um, and then Whitney, never missing an opportunity to make things about herself, says, how is that any different than me connecting with Monica? And I was like, I'm listening. Like, I'm along for the ride. Let's connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then Mary and her both jump in and are like, that lady traumatized everybody in this group for years. And Meredith and Lisa and Heather are like oddly defending. Well, I'm not surprised at Heather for defending Jen Shah.
Yeah.
But even Meredith was like, really like, no, 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 no. She's part of fusion. She's serving. She served her time. And Mary said, serving. She is serving. She has not served. But Mary makes a very compelling argument. And she was like, there's certain lines that people do not cross, and that lady took it too far every single time. She is a liar. She sat in front of our face and everybody's face and lied until the second they turned that lock on that jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
She accused me and you, Meredith, of being the reason she went to prison. And Meredith says, what about second chances? And Mary is like, no, like no, like she says I'm the reason she's in jail. Like, I'm sorry, like there's never another chance for Jen Shah. And I was like, if I don't care if you were a castmate, a friend of mine for 20 years, if I found out you embezzled millions of dollars from old people, like, girl, it ain't no beef, but I'm not going to be seen in public with you ever again. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That is a character flaw, and that is something I am wholly against. So the fact that Meredith, a lawyer, is like trying to defend Jen Shah when she didn't defend her that great before the trial, I just didn't understand that. So, Tez, what were your thoughts on this little package?
I just feel like Meredith is full of shit right here. This is what I was talking about her because she tried to justify that it's okay to talk. It's okay to talk to somebody like Jen Shah because people forgive. I mean, meanwhile, you are still holding on to this whole eating disorder thing. You're holding on to this whole thing with Angie and her husband. You win a whole season. I mean, Jen Shah. First of all, Mary made a great point. It was alleged that whole season that Meredith was the reason that the feds came to pick her up. Let's go back to that. If you watch that season. And I mean, even Meredith when she was at it with Jen Shah, literally she was like on her ass about going to jail. And you want to talk about fraud? She remember that scene, like she was on. You don't just forgive and move on like for Jen Shah, you do. You want to know why? Because she's in jail. And she needs friends. She needs a connection, maybe to bring her back on the show. We see that her sentence is getting less and less and less. So right now, she's scheduled to come out in Christmas of 2026, right? So don't be surprised it may get reduced again to like January 2026, something like that. Because when the show comes back, if she can, she's going to come back. So why not reach out to Meredith, right? Why not? I thought it was very great for Mary to say, like, why are you talking to her? And I think this kind of proves why Mary may not be so close to Meredith, because I'm starting to see a side of Meredith that I feel like is a bit inauthentic. Yeah. And it's just like she's just kind of all over the place. For someone that is so smart, she still portrays herself to be kind of like a dummy in some things. In this case, I think this is a great example, personally.
I agree. Tonio?
I also, with that, I'm glad you mentioned that about, because to me it seemed like, oh, they keep shortening my time. Let me go ahead and reach out to somebody who might accept a call from me, and that may be my way back in. Because like Cortez said, if she were to get out, and if Bravo said, hey, we want you back on this show, no matter in what capacity, Jen Shah is gonna say, hell yeah,
absolutely.
So it was odd to me though that maybe she has reached out to Heather and Heather just didn't say it, but that Meredith, I guess, was the one that she called. That's but hey, Meredith said she spoke to her for about 10 minutes. Cool. Until Mary mentioned the fact that to try to blame it, she was saying, hey, they set me up, and Meredith set me up, and Mary. And Lisa Barlow over there, like, yes, she sure did. That was funny to me.
Right. Yeah, she did that.
It's like, why do you need to speak to that lady? Yeah, I believe in second chances, and she's serving her
There's
time
nothing to
and
talk about right
restitution.
now.
But I think what she did, and not to say it's not, any coming back from it, but I think that's something that's, how sometimes stuff be on you or in you, that is in her. I think that's just the person that she is. She just, she probably has been doing this type of stuff her whole life. But this one, she took a little bit too far, and she ended up getting, caught. I think she'll get out and she'll probably start stealing again or whatever it was that she was doing.
I'm pretty sure she won't do that anymore. I don't think she would.
You don't think so?
Because the next time that sentence is gonna be way longer, baby.
Mm.
It ain't gonna be like that. That's
Yeah.
right. I see
We'll
this
see.
right here too. You want
Callie, thank you so much for the super chat. And you make a very good point. They can't forgive Monica, but Jen Shaw closed up Heather's eye, and they are still talking to her.
Yeah. All
If it's
Monica
one
did
thing,
was post some stuff online, which is what they all do about each other.
before she got added to the cast,
But
like
this
she
is
wasn't
why,
even doing it while she was a cast member.
this
Like,
is why I don't take Heather serious, because Heather
Yeah.
literally defended Jen even
the
in
death.
jail. I feel like she said she had conversations with her
yeah,
post jail. The only time I feel like she may have not talked to Jen was after last year's reunion when she revealed about the eye. Because remember, last year we went a whole season about the eye, and then she actually at the reunion she came out and said that it was Jen Shah, and that's when Jen Shah came out and was just like, keep my name out your mouth, and I'm whatever she was saying, right? I don't know. I don't know how she got that message out. Jen Shah didn't post it all back. They didn't gave her a little Tamagotchi, and she on Instagram.
not a ton.
But yeah, like I don't take Heather serious when it comes to Monica, because it's like you cannot. You defended somebody for so long up until they went into the damn cells. It's just like crazy. Monica, at this rate, please make another Instagram account, talk about these ladies. Who cares?
Exactly. And I mean, I don't look to the housewives to be beacons of like strong principles and guiding lights of morality, because they're all hypocrites.
Yeah.
All right, let's blow through this. We're at the very end of this reunion, and we finally get to the game that caused so much chaos. Heather was like, oh, it was innocent. This was a great way for everyone just to kind of be confronted with the worst things that we've said, for us really to burn it and move forward. You and Meredith was like, girl, not everybody needed that. Just those of y'all that don't know how to take accountability. And I was like, Mary, damn.
It was on their head.
Oh, I loved it. But they do note that the game did work for some of them. Bronwin said that while Angie's words hurt, she did what she said. She left it there. She hasn't spoken about it. And she wishes that everybody did the same. And by everybody, Lisa Barlow. So we move to Lisa and Whitney. And of course, Lisa jumps right in and the two of them are talking and Lisa just refuses to shut up. She goes right into victim mode. Whitney's getting frustrated. Everybody's jumping in. Whitney's screaming like, I want to settle this with Lisa effing Barlow. Lisa Barlow. I was like, okay,
like, what is
girl? And frankly, like, I don't even care about this storyline. With Britney. Like, I don't care about this storyline. Like, I burned it and left it at that table like Bronwin told me to.
I burned it when Whitney said, you want to see the new Whitney? F you, Lisa Barlow. I thought that was great. That's great. Like, I mean, or this, like,
like, you, Lisa Barlow. Andy already was just like,
this looking like
Jesus. He said there ain't enough blow in the world to get me ready for this last half of this segment, allegedly. So Whitney continues with her apology. But Lisa is still mad. She's mad that Whitney brought it up, and Whitney was like, I could have said other shady things, like I hate you, and you're vain, and you're self-centered, and you're a liar. I was like, damn, Whitney. Calm down. But she was like, we said we were going to stop doing those things. That was the whole purpose of the game. And Braun was like, yeah, Lisa, just earlier tonight, you tried to bring up a text message about me, and you're still doing these things to people. And Lisa said, no, I didn't. You're a liar. And I'm like, Lisa, you literally just did that. You literally threatened to expose text messages, but okay. Lisa is still just like harping. I don't think in this entire like 10-minute segment so far, Lisa has shut up. Like, she's just continuing. I'm such a good friend. I'm the victim. Everybody's bullying me. she starts screaming and is like, I'm the worst treated housewife in all of housewife history, and is just going on and on and on. And Whitney turns to Meredith and says, Meredith, can I just burn something with you? Because it's not going to happen with her. Can I burn it with you? When I tell you, I howled. The camera panned over to Meredith, and Meredith said,
Yes.
been laid out on that couch. Her shawl was hanging off her arms. Her hair was off. So she just said, yeah, yeah. It's like Meredith, girl. Someone get her some water. Um, Lisa is still hasn't shut up. She's crying. She's the best friend to everybody. She has never been fake. Bronwyn laughs in her face about the comment of never being fake. This part took me out. Whitney gets up because she's like, everybody's coming in the middle of us. She goes over to talk to Lisa. Lisa stands up and tries to hug her. Whitney said, oh, no,
Right.
Lisa.
Like, I'm not trying to hug you, girl. Sit down. Let's talk.
The funny thing to me is Lisa literally just got done saying, I'm not fake. But as she's arguing and cussing Whitney out, goes up to hug her like, I just can't stand it. You're such a bitch. I think you're the like
That was
Lisa.
hilarious.
It was chaos. And Whitney mentions that Lisa never takes accountability for stuff. Lisa crashes out again. Heather is like, God, Whitney, you were this close. We were this close to wrapping this up. Finally, Andy is just like, I hate everything right now. Like, I need a break. Like, we're done. We're done. So Lisa finally says, I love Whitney, even though our friendship is kind of jacked up. Whitney replies, I have a lot of love and respect. And Andy said, that's it. Leave it right there. No more. And Whitney kind of looks at him and says, as long as you burn it.
As long as you don't say I'm a liar. I'm like,
as long as you burn it. And then Lisa says, well, I'm going to bring it up again if that's what you mean by burning it. And Whitney's like, well, as long as you don't say I'm a liar. And this whole thing reminded me of that scene in Bridesmaids where they're at the reception and they're trying to get the last word and the whole thing. Like, I wanted somebody to be like, en la escuela azul casa.
Yeah, it really did.
It gave very much that. And this is why Andy was like, we're done. Like, please, for the love of God, let's just stop. Tonio, what were your thoughts as you were watching because the two of these women are two of the main cast members who don't know how to shut up and listen to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, they will go.
And Whitney talking this whole time, it like reminded me of just how annoying the sound of her voice is. Like when she said that, I want to bring this with Lisa fucking Boyle. It was like, and Lisa was just over there going through it. She was hyperventilating. She was like, you guys fucked me over so much. And then like, fuck us over too. I was like, why are you whispering? And when she looked at Meredith and said, can I just burn something with you instead?
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I was like, these women are crazy. But I am glad that they were able to get, because we all know the reunions and stuff like that are supposed to be, you try and get to a point where you can kind of move forward. Yeah. So we know, and during that scene when Whitney was sitting beside Lisa and Meredith was like, I'm gonna try to, help you out. Meredith, she had kind of sobered up for a minute. But what she said was true. Like, you can't say I'm sorry and then continuously do the same thing. It's gonna make somebody not trust you, not want to, deal with you, so on and so forth. And so Whitney, I don't think really received it from Meredith because she told her, unless you're gonna be, unbiased, then don't be talking. And Whitney got up, and so I am glad that they were able to get to the point of being able to move forward. Now we'll see how long it lasts, as far as them not bringing stuff up, or even if they don't bring that up, it's gonna be something new is gonna, come about. I wish that Lisa would take a look and be like, if everybody's telling you, hey, you don't really take accountability, that may be something, you could possibly work on. But I think in Lisa's mind, she's never wrong. People are always effing with her, so she has nothing to take accountability for, other than when she called Meredith all kind of sluts and cum dumps and whores and all of that, So
she was a New York pass around.
And Bronwyn, to me, she was still fighting for a little bit of Lisa's attention, especially when Lisa was kind of like at the point with Whitney where Lisa was like, I do love you, so on and so forth. I think Bronwin was like, in her mind, like, I've been trying to get this bitch to be, all season, and she still like, Bronwyn still wanted to get a piece because she's like, no, you ain't a good friend. You ain't, you are fake, and stuff like that. So it was crazy. But I want to be like, Bronwyn, baby, you're not gonna get what you're looking for. I think you should take whatever it is that you've received at this time and move forward with it. Maybe try again with Lisa next season. But I do think that this kind of set up everything for it to be interesting next season as far as the dynamics go. But I was glad that Whitney shut the hell up. I was glad that Lisa was no longer fake crying. I did enjoy seeing her ring. She knew what she was doing because every time she started crying and she got excited, she put her hands up so you could see the ice on her fingers. But but I wanted to burn Lisa fucking Barlow myself. I was like,
Tez.
I don't have a lot to add to this. I just don't understand why is it not okay to just not be friends with Lisa? Like, I don't understand. Because it's like everybody can point out, right? Everybody they all can point out what the issue is. Bronwyn can shout it to the moon over there, right? But she still wants to be friends with her.
Yes.
Lisa, Whitney, the same way. You can point out all these things. You mad she calling you a liar. You mad she doing this and she not listening to you and whatever. She got married. If you think that they're me, but you want to be friends with it. So it's just like, you know what? I don't really care. What sent me the most in this scene was Lisa when she was having a whole soapbox and she said that she was like one of so many in her family. She could have been sex trafficked. And
yes.
I was just like,
damn.
How did we get here?
I was in there. How the hell we get the sex trafficking? I was just like, this lady is so extreme.
She got lost in the show.
I got so confused. And I think that Meredith had the best intention with trying to bridge the two. But if you listen to what Meredith said, she kind of started to make it about herself.
Yes.
And that's what Whitney was like, okay, never mind.
Whitney was
like she said, I'm not doing this. Like, and that's what, like, I was with her, but it became more personal. And I'm like, okay, at this point, you're not neutral. This is not about me and you. So I didn't mind this scene. I wish they would just leave Lisa alone. And I feel like, in this moment, I don't think anything was resolved. They both are who they are. And it is what it is. Like, it's going to happen again. But I think next year's I think next year's dynamic will actually be Heather versus Lisa in a way like that. But imagine the new Heather, against Lisa. I don't think that anybody in this group is really okay with Lisa but Meredith. Everyone else kind of, if they either they see an issue or they are afraid to express it. And I feel that Heather will be on that side next year.
Well, they did say to each other that they love, like, I love you. And Heather was like, I love you too. I think it will be, it's definitely going to be Mary and Meredith. I think they are going to go in. Yeah. They're both back next season. And I think it will be Meredith and
nobody.
Be Meredith. I had a brain freeze.
You said,
I think it will be Meredith and Heather. Just because I don't think Meredith holds a grudge, just like Angie holds a grudge. But when they sat down and Heather kind of agreed that they were able to kind of take Todd's side because they've been accused of cheating and all, I don't really think Meredith was, she wasn't a fan of that. And
not at all.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Well, let's get into just the last little bit. Cortez, could you go ahead and put in the link? We're running a little bit on time, so we'll breeze through there, and we're going to have to stay pretty tight on the comments. So thank you, guys. Really, we ended this with Andy saying, so the game was saying the meanest thing. Let's redo this, and you say one nice thing about one person. Baby, the way I howled when they showed Britney backstage because Andy dismissed her, and Britney said,
wait, I should be out there.
Whitney said, I should really be out there. What am I doing back here? I was like, Whitney,
I want people to say nice stuff to me.
My God, lady. So Mary on Heather. You know what I will say? Mary went from saying Heather's inbred to really wanting Heather to have more of a backbone and to love herself. this season. And she said Heather is powerful, smart, and she has a lot of love, but just doesn't know who to give it to. Um, Lisa to Whitney. Whitney works really hard. She's a great mom. She cares a lot. But when she's committed to being a friend, she's a great one. I was like, God damn it, Lisa. Like, you just had to throw in some shade. Meredith to Angie. She's pretty. She's a great mother. She loves her family. She's very driven and hardworking. This last part took me clean out. Even though I haven't seen it, apparently you can be a good friend to Mary. I was like, my God, Meredith. Meredith to Angie. She's a lovely mother. Secretly likes her. Bronwin to Heather, always wanted to be friends. She's witty and envies the relationship she has with other women. She's very intelligent. She enjoys sparring with her because she keeps her on her toes, and she is very proud of how Heather parents her daughters. Um, Heather on Bronwyn, she's been through a lot of trauma that Heather can understand. It's hard for the world to kind of understand the lens of shame that women in their community, particularly single mothers, often get. But she says that Bronwyn has been remarkable through that. She says Broadwin's daughter Gwen is remarkable and that she thinks she has been a fabulous contribution to the group. Whitney to Lisa, she has the best hair. The things that drive her crazy the most are the things that she loves the most. Lisa's perfectionist. And also, when she wants to, she can be a good friend as well. And then Mary was like, no, no, Andy, I want you to do me. And Meredith was like, I was talking something about you, Mary.
Right.
But Andy says, this year, Mary, you showed your whole heart. You are an incredible
Like a
mother.
damn Furby.
That's how she sounds. Um, Mary has shown she is open and understanding. She has shown the importance of meeting somebody where they are and guiding them towards the light. And she is funny as hell without trying. And I think that we all have seen Mary's evolution. You guys know from season one, I wasn't a huge fan of Mary. I thought she was rude as hell.
Mhm.
Mary or Andy has always been a fan of Mary. I think after season two, when Mary failed to show up, Andy was a little bit pissed,
Yeah.
but ultimately saw that Mary's kookiness was absolutely needed to level out the other batshit crazy of the six other women. And Mary has proven she started off as a friend of that somehow managed to become a full-time housewife. And everybody always thinks about Heather or Lisa or them. But I honestly think if Mary keeps up how she performed this season, she is going to be like the pillar of Salt Lake City. Like she's a phenomenal housewife. She's funny, she's got fashion, she's a little bit kooky, but she can be really, really serious and shady when she wants to be. The ladies all agreed that this is the game that they should have played. They end the reunion with a mug of Miller High Life. And Brittany gets the last word by saying, well, I want nice stuff said about me too. That's not fair. I was like, please send her home. Come get Jared to pick her up. Come get her daughter to pick her up. Her daughter's here in New York. Something like somebody get her off the stage. And that's where we end it. Tonio, what did you think of this little package?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a great ending to it. I was glad that they actually dug just a little bit deeper to give compliments on. I ain't wanted to just be like, oh yeah, you have great clothes and you have shiny hair and whatever, but they did, actually, give compliments. I think Meredith was. That's why I said I feel like Meredith and Mary are gonna kind of go at it a little bit next season because I don't think Mary's I think she loves Meredith, but I don't really think she feeling Meredith after the this performance at the reunion very much because she was like, no, I want Andy, I want you to do mine. And Andy was like, well, I was gonna ask Meredith, and she was like, no, I want you. But no, it was a good way to close it out on a positive note. I mean, they got Mary drinking vodka, the lady drinking a big glass of beer. She said she only drinks it when it's extra cold. I was like, let me go get me some Miller in this weekend.
No, trust me, you don't need it.
It was a good way to close out the season, only for them to probably come back season 6 with even more chaos and drama. But this was good. And Brittany was in the back, and her that lady is such a pick me. I'm just like, get her. Like, y'all should have made her sit outside on the curb or something.
Right.
And then, most of the time the people be back in the little green room or the dressing room or whatever. She's standing over there with production, like they inviting her to come back out. Oh my God, I can't stand it.
Tonio. Or Cortez.
Nothing to add. Honestly, I think that Brittany is a prime example of someone that is unaware and does not read the room. Somehow when she was casted, they did not tell her that she was a friend of, because I don't, the way she acts, you can't tell her she's not a snowflake holder.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe they told her she could work towards one, and maybe she felt like she did. But yeah, she is so unaware of what's going on. And so that's all I really have. Like, I thought she was very on brand. The final moments of them kind of giving the great things, and it definitely was some shade. I don't want to see Mary versus Meredith, because what is that like? I mean, neither one of them. Meredith, I mean, I don't know. She said to dig up stuff on people. So, I mean, what would they be arguing about? Stuff this year? I don't want to see it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I want to see it.
I think they could bring in another friend of that, to kind of be in the ask them to mix. And I think that I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I think this was a great cast, a great season.
Yeah.
There was not a dull moment in my opinion. Even the heartfelt moments were truly heart feeling, and I felt attached and was emotional. So I have no other thoughts. I thought it was a good season, great finale, great reunion.
Yeah.
You think Mary and Heather can be like besties next season?
No.
You know what? Never going to see that. I don't know.
Never forget. At one point, Mary said, "Who is Angie?" Now she didn't do Britney like she did Angie. But what if we come back next year and Mary is friends with Britney? Oh my God,
Lord, I don't want that.
I think she really dislikes.
No, I think she does too. I mean, she said that she was poor.
I honestly think next year it's going to be Mary, Angie, and Bronwin. I think after this reunion, Bronwin and Angie will actually end up forming a relatively tight bond.
And that's
Mary
a great duo. That seems like a fun duo. There's like, I'm not saying I like the fashion, but there's fashion over there, right? But what does that leave Whitney?
Poor thing with Heather.
I'll be trying to be friends with Lisa Barlow.
Long as they'll give her nothing else to burn. She said burn 1,000 times. If that was the
burn
word,
it. They were supposed to burn it. You burn it at the table.
Because it was like every time she say the word burn,
you gotta take a shot.
Meredith
Pop a Quaalude, Meredith. Every time you hear burn, pop a pill, baby.
Meredith over there popping the face like Skittles.
My God. All right, let's go ahead and bring on our first caller. We got Classy Lady.
Yeah, we got a call in the queue. Oh wait, actually, speaking of Lisa, it's Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Hi guys. How y'all guys doing?
Hello.
You doing okay?
Hi, my beautiful folks. Let me tell y'all something. I'm telling you the truth. I did not watch it because I knew they're gonna come after my girl Britney, because I love me some Britney. I do. I know she kind of awkward, but I like it though. I really do. And I just couldn't stand the way Mary and Brian came at her. Yeah, she be telling it be some awkward lies being told, but I happen to like her though. I really do. I mean, I just didn't like the way I just didn't like the way Baldwin and Mary came up, because she said they look like costumes and they Mary was poor. Good, really? That was y'all come out to her for? And then I really do believe Baldwin had something, because it was something on some blog I had seen. They said Baldwin had somebody know Britney's children. And I really do believe Baldwin probably did say something, off the show. You know what I'm saying, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so, so I really do believe that. But other than that, I mean, I didn't like Mary's part. Like, I can see the part about Angie. I didn't never understand her part about the alcohol with Angie. I didn't never understand it. I really didn't. But I still didn't understand the part with Mary. I mean, Mary got mad at her talking about, well, you said I had a eating disorder, and I was throwing up. If you were throwing up, that's what she heard. Okay, you had to be somebody had to be hearing something. So somebody say something. So this past, I'm just like, I just knew then. Like I said, I like all of them. I even like Baldwin. The only person I don't like is Mary. Until we get to the bottom line, well, what they did to grandmama, baby, Mary is totally out of my system. I'm sorry. Baby, until we find out we do Cortez, no, Cortez don't like that. Until we find out what happened to grandmama, we find out how to. Yeah, but they say it's a possibility. Allegedly now, Grandpa and Mary allegedly Grandpa and Mary had something to do with Grandma death. I'm telling you, go back and look at Cheryl World where her grandmother brother was on Cheryl World. And he was telling everything about the church and how the church got started, about the money in the church. Then it was something about the women. The women's on there said they've been violated in the church. I'm for
Okay,
real.
Oh
Lisa, we got
my
another
goodness.
call in the queue.
Big
I
allegedly right
didn't
there,
told you
please.
about calling up here, wasting time on that. So,
No,
like we
we not.
we're
You're
gonna
gonna have
take
to say about
that's
grandma.
all
We
right.
got
Have a
find out
good
how
night,
many.
Lisa. All
So
right, our
marry a
next caller
murderer.
is
Okay.
going to be classy
Marry a
lady.
murderer.
Because Lord have mercy. We are not
Lord
going
have
to
mercy.
let her vote again. I'm sorry. Hey, classy lady, how are you?
We can't hear you, girl.
Yes, I think you're on mute, classy lady. Uh-oh.
Oh,
She lost audio. Hold on one second. Let me give it 1 second and see if her audio, because this is the last show,
okay.
so should we get
Yeah.
all get the callers on? But
Let's get in the comments though, really quick, guys. If you think Mary killed her grandma, please let us know.
allegedly, if you think Mary allegedly killed her grandma, or is a murder at all,
I think the mama
allegedly,
did.
please,
Mary mama may have.
I just cannot. You know, it's just crazy to me. Hold on. You there, classy lady?
Can, oh, there's a
There
button.
we go. Hello, hello.
Hey, how
Can
are
you
you?
hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I kind of missed the last part of what Miss Lisa was saying.
Hey, Miss Blunt. If
Mary a
you watch,
murderer.
if you watch the whole season, this season, last season, she been saying the same thing every time she called in about where is Grandpa. She don't know, we don't know, and Cheryl World don't know. Nobody knows. Okay, so
Nobody knows.
classy lady, go ahead and tell us what you feel about this episode.
Oh, okay. Well, only because it made me think. I had I had booked Luis's ex-wife on Cheryl's show once, and um and it reminds me, but they were discussing narcissistic abuse and what that was about and all those things. And when Britney was using terms like people, most people don't know what that term "flying monkeys" mean unless you are into psychology, or you've been have been abused, or it's or you know somebody else who has, like the term flying monkeys, speaking and what did I say earlier, word salads, slander campaigns. There's a certain gray walking, um uh going no contact. So it made me wonder if Brittany had been in a, well, if she wasn't in a relationship with Jared, that was, does he have some issues, or what was the situation with her ex-husband like? Um, she seems very codependent on needing some type of love, or some type of male affection, even though she seems to have a good relationship with her father. It's like she's like like Dracula, like she needs love. She'll just suck it right out of you. So I found that to be most interesting. But it doesn't give up the fact that I was trying to look it up because would that make her a dark empath? But no, it doesn't. I'm just like, why you're still a liar though? Because I couldn't, like Mary. She just kept deflecting every time they would talk about, hey, you still, it's not about Jared or whatever. Because I think, didn't she say at the end of this final season or final finale that they were back together again? And so at the reunion, now they're broken up again. They were never together. He was just saying something to you so you can take your pants off.
Oh,
That's all that was. I mean, honestly, um, it's almost like arrested development in a sense. Like she thinks she's 19, freshman in college or something, and everything's so new and upperclassmen like her. I don't know, but it's just like a I don't know, like a weird. It, it's like she's in a different world than everybody else is. She's trying to make that world her world, but then we're like, no, we don't want to be a part of your world.
Okay, Ariel.
That's hilarious. Well, I'm so glad that you guys stuck to it to the very end. Now, now we've come to the end of the road,
Now
and
we've come to the end
I
of
think
the road.
a quick little mention because it's the last one. You know, classy lady, this very person right here, she is the reason that. Well, not the reason, but she's kind of like
She's
primarily
the
the reason
main. She
why
led the
we
charge to get the
decided.
show.
She was a part of the decision because when we, our schedules were conflicted and we couldn't really figure out how to get together to do it. We put it on the channel, and she was one of the ones that commented. And I think she said verbatim, she was like, "Well, shit, put me on the panel. I'll do it."
Listen,
I was like, you know what? Let's try to figure out how we can keep it. I reached out to everybody, and we have made it work. So, and I'm glad we did. Like, this is honestly the most enjoyable franchise in a long time, like all the way through. So I'm glad we did. Thank you, classy lady, and all the others. It wasn't just you, but there were others that also said, "Keep the show, keep the show." We did it for y'all. So I'm glad
and
we
so
did.
thank y'all for tuning in while we do it. Because
Yes,
if you would
thank
have caused all
y'all.
that stink and not tuned in, I would have cussed you out.
You have anything
That's
else?
why I saw the time and I was like, oh, let me make sure I make it with the last episode because I was like, they're gonna be real pissed at me if I don't, if I don't show up. But I'm glad you liked it, and I wonder one thing though,
Mhm.
what is it about these producers that that like the ones at Potomac aren't getting
Mm.
or it's just like is it just the production that gets that makes this team of women work, because they had multiple storylines and different like which way another, and then like some franchises it's just one storyline about one thing the whole time, or it's like I saw the trailer for Atlanta and I'm like, I don't know. It reminded me of a very lewd Love and Hip Hop, but it was just I was disappointed about. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
is what is their secret sauce? Because it was like this was really you can really see the difference between the quality and what's going on this show than
Yeah.
on some other franchises. So I don't know. Hopefully
Yeah.
it'll be better.
Good point.
Well,
Well,
thank
thank you
you.
so much,
Thank
classy
you.
lady. You have yourself a great night, and we will see you on one of our other shows soon.
Yeah, we still have
Oh yeah, Beverly Hills.
Hills,
Oh,
and then
Beverly.
Potomac is running into their reunion, so we're gonna be doing that. For those that's watching, we're not doing Atlanta. I know I keep saying that, but I just want to make sure that it's very clear that we will not be reviewing the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think if you're gonna watch that, if you know Chase, our very own is gonna be reviewing it on his channel, No Chaser TV. And so I think if you're gonna watch that season, you should watch it over there because they do a great job as well. So yeah.
Are you in the same
Cortez said we
region
will
I was
not be.
in?
Yes, we
We
will
will
not.
not be.
Okay. Thank you, classy lady. Have a good night. Okay.
Good night.
Right. All
All right.
right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, Antonio, Tez. It was good to be on here with you guys. To our viewers who stuck with us, sorry we went over a little bit, but the way y'all are talking it up in the chat doesn't seem like y'all care too much. Thank you to our callers. We had fun this season. It was a blast. Again, next week we've got Real House of Potomac that we just mentioned. We've got Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We are trying to figure out what we are going to tackle next. I know Miami's getting ready to come up. I think that is probably the one that we can all agree has been consistently good the last couple of seasons. If we're not going to do Atlanta, I think that is one we're trying to figure out who is going to be and who can commit to that.
On what
But we
show?
will absolutely
Miami.
Miami.
Oh.
Cortez said it won't be me.
Listen,
I won't be on it.
I'll just say
I
this.
won't be.
This is what I'll say. Tune in, subscribe to the channel. We will
Yeah.
make announcements on what shows we will and will not be doing. And basically, this decision comes based off of the trailers and just kind of the availability. I mean, there's 12 of us, but realistically, our schedules are like all over the place. So we're doing the shows that we can, but if we don't have coverage, then we can't do that show.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. 5 years in the game, at some point, times and things kind of change. So we'll see. But we still be here, just to what capacity, I'm unsure. So
yeah. All right, guys. So Art World, Polymer Girls, Sierra Content, Sean, Amanda, Art World, obviously Classy Lady, and lovable Lisa. Thank you guys so much. Everybody who commented, who kept the chats alive. Thank you to our mods for this entire season. We appreciate you guys so much. Like, subscribe, send it to a friend who likes to talk mess about inebriated and killed out women. Because those are our tribe. We love you guys. You guys, Tonio, if you have one more reaction animation, I swear to God, my epilepsy's
I
acting
don't
up.
even know how to do it.
I think I turned mine off. My epilepsy acted up. All right, you guys.
All right, y'all have a good night.
You guys have a great weekend. Lisa fucking Barlow.
Yes.
Bye.